All right, I'm going to be upfront here. There's a lot of distraction and noise happening around the house today. My kids are home for spring break. There's a construction site happening right next door as they're building a house, but I promise we're going to do the best we can to do all of the things today and get this episode recorded because we do have a really exciting guest joining us today who is going to give us all the inside tips and travel knowledge that she has gained throughout her career. She is the president and owner of Departure Travel Management, DTM. Let's get at it. Welcome to another episode of our inspiring podcast where we explore the journey, stories, and expertise of remarkable individuals sharing their industries. Today, we're thrilled to introduce Bonnie Newcomer, the owner and president of Departure Travel Management, a leading travel agency known for crafting unforgettable experiences. Bonnie's passion for travel and her keen business sense have propelled her to the forefront of the travel industry. With years of experience and a dedication to creating seamless journeys for her clients, Bonnie has built a reputation for excellence and personalized service. In this episode, she shares her insights on navigating the ever-changing landscape of travel and the secrets to designing extraordinary trips. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be inspired as we dive into an engaging conversation with Bonnie Newcomer, a true trailblazer in the world of travel. Hey, Bonnie, welcome to the podcast. Thanks so much for joining us today. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me. This is amazing.
I'm so excited to have you on and hear all the things about travel. Everybody wants to go all the places and do all the things. And I know that you will be able to give us all the insight that we can start creating these bucket list trips and knocking them off our list. All right. So if you could just start off giving us a little bit about who you are and how you got into where you are today as the president and owner of DTM Travel Agency.
Wow. It's a long story. I've been in the industry about 50 years, traveled extensively early on in my career, and just found a love for travel without a doubt. And about 25 years ago, had some investors approach me and ask me to open an agency, a woman-owned agency, and I said yes. So I haven't turned back for a second. It's been an amazing journey. Got 39 employees at this time.
Wow.
Majority are women.
Awesome.
And, we have marketed the company as a woman-owned business, and we've been successful.
That's fantastic. So what does a day-to-day look like at a travel agency, whether it's you or some of your employees? How do you help people create these awesome itineraries?
The day is creative from beginning to end because people are looking for a different style of travel, something maybe a little more hand-holding, a little more extensive travel, maybe a family group, to a destination.
Yeah.
And hard to kind of put together online.
Sure.
But it's creative. There's a lot of collaboration between the different agents that have traveled to and from the different destinations. We have an agent as we speak right now in Milan, and we're all questioning her. Did you see this? Did you see that? And how's that going? And so it's really, it's creative throughout the day. Teamwork,
Wow.
without a doubt. But and there's all the accounting and the bookkeeping and all that kind of stuff that gets filtered in too. But the biggest part of the day is real creative.
So cool. Okay, so you mentioned you have an agent in Milan. So do these agents, do you specialize, like I'm going to specialize in trips to Europe, or I'm going to specialize in family destinations, or how do people get the expertise and the knowledge of all these different places to help the clients?
Well, we have amazing suppliers, without a doubt, that are in our office all the time, educating us pretty much weekly on different products, different destinations, new things happening in the marketplace, without a doubt. But you really have to travel. You have to be well traveled in this industry to be able to give the advice. There's no question.
I mean, you have to go there and you have to experience it and be able to give that experience onto the client when they're asking the questions.
Yeah, first-hand experience is amazing.
cool perk of that job. I don't know where this job was when I was in college, because if someone would have said, hey, you can go travel and give people knowledge of your experience traveling and help them set up trips,
It's
I might
true.
not be where I am today.
It's true. Yeah, there's no question. It's an amazing job.
Yeah,
No question. There's a lot of perks that come with the job, but a lot of it's relationships too. The relationships are amazing that you have all over the world.
sure. Okay, so you're talking about relationships that you have. You mentioned suppliers that are
With
coming and
suppliers, with
providing the
hotels,
information.
yeah, different hotels, different tour companies,
Hmm.
that kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's get into why should someone use a travel agency versus trying to book a trip themselves. But I think that point you just highlighted right there kind of speaks volumes. You guys have people and connections at all these different places and hotels, and that has to be a huge benefit to somebody traveling,
it's a
knowing that
huge.
they can call you and you have all the connections for where they're at.
You're absolutely right. That is really the benefit, is because we have the ability to VIP people all over the world, and create styles of travel too. There's so many different styles of travel. You think of booking online and you're just going to book that hotel in that car, but you may need a little extra. You may want a tour. May want to do an escorted tour. There's multiple companies that are 5-star, 4-star properties involved that have escorted tours that you can get into the Vatican after hours just with your group. I mean, simple things like that, but just very unique experiences. You can get into a vineyard and meet, the owner of the vineyard. I mean, those are just so pre-planned, excursions. They also become very social too. You're
Yeah.
with a group of people, you're maybe with 24 or 40 people. You get to know people from all over the world. It's a wonderful way to travel. There's also, hosted travel too. There's different styles of travel that people just don't find online. You
Right.
have the hosted travel, which is something where you're totally independent, but you have like a concierge available to you 24/7. So you have somebody to text and go, oh my gosh, I'm in Italy. I'm done with pasta. I'm looking for a burger. Where is it?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So, and then there's always the independent, but again, being creative and with
Yeah.
groups of families, you can do villas. There's just so many different ways of travel today than just booking online. Yeah. And there's cruising, and cruising takes a whole different, feel, because now you've got large ship cruising, you've got small ship cruising, you've got river, you've got exploration, you've got yacht cruising now. Four Seasons and Ritz are in the marketplace now with yachts. So, I mean, the experience is endless. It's just unbelievable. And
So
that's what you
really,
come to us for.
yeah, I was going to say a client doesn't even have to really come to you with specifics. Really, they can just sit down and have a conversation, and they might not know what they don't know until they talk to you and
That's
say,
exactly right.
I didn't even consider a trip
Mhm.
with my family on a boat. Is that possible?
Mhm.
And then you can get into sharing that.
Exactly. Yeah, there's just it, and it's the different style of travel. Like I said, it's just there's so many different ways of traveling. Um,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are
I think
extremely creative.
a lot of people too fall into they've gone somewhere that they've enjoyed and they love it, and then they just
Mhm.
revisit it time and time
Happens a
again,
lot.
and I'm guilty. I
Happens a
am
lot.
guilty. We have a spot that we love and we know the whole family enjoys
Mhm.
it, and so when all of a sudden we have an opportunity to go somewhere, it's just our go-to. We know what to expect. We know
Mhm.
how to get there. We know what foods we like to eat and what
Yeah.
restaurants we like to go to. That's something to think about too. Okay, I don't have to be well versed in knowing where to go. I can just go to a person that
Mhm.
does this for a living and find out a
Yeah.
new way to have a new adventure with your family.
And realistically, you just have to share, with an agent what experience you're looking to have,
Hmm.
what's important in that experience, and we can pretty much create it. And that's where I started with saying the day is creative all day long. I mean, that's the work day in a travel agency is truly collaborative and creative.
So neat. So, budget wise, obviously, that has to be a big part of the conversation when
Sure.
you come in. Cause, of course, I'm going to say, yeah, I'd love to travel on a yacht and have a private concierge, but there has to be some sort of conversation around budget. So, can you plan trips of all different affordability for
Certainly.
people, or
Mhm.
is it only luxury travel?
Yeah, no, there's definitely budget. If budget's, the key leader and booking a trip, by all means, there's definitely different options for that. There's definitely companies that are focused on the budget traveler that we
Hmm.
can highly suggest some really nice 4-star hotels, especially in Florida. Throughout the US, there's some amazing weekend getaways. Again, being in a 4-star property is going to keep the price down quite a bit, opposed to a 5-star, 5 luxury, something
Hmm.
along that line. But yeah, that's easily done. It's
Okay.
just, again, it's coming in with, the expectations that you're looking for. And we meet those expectations.
Love that. Okay, good. I'm happy to have people hear that too.
Mhm.
That you can be at any price
At
point, but there's still
any
help
price
and
point.
suggestions to be
Mhm.
made.
Yeah, and there's ways to travel to Hawaii on a budget. There's ways to travel, in luxury. Both ways are spectacular. I mean, you're not going to be disappointed. Hawaii's amazing, throughout the
Oh,
year. It's just
it's
gorgeous.
on the dream
I
list.
know. It should be on everybody's dream list because
Right.
it's
Yeah.
just perfect
Yeah.
paradise, without a
Yeah.
doubt. Hmm.
And I feel like everybody gets into this. You have to be in this perfect spot in your life financially and time, and kids have to be certain ages, or you're not going to travel without the kids until they're a certain age and you feel like you can leave. But as we all know, tomorrow isn't promised. So I just feel so passionately about like, just go do the things and see the things and make room for it because it's so important. I've never regretted a single trip I've ever taken, whether it was fantastic or it
Hmm.
was terrible. It's still great memories, right?
Experiences. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. I think for a family, it's the best to make those
Mm.
memories while you're traveling. No
Absolutely.
question. I mean, that is just, I mean, in my family, we traveled quite a few different places while we were raising our kids and don't regret any of the money that was spent. We never think about how much money we spent on that trip. We always laugh about the things that happened
Right. Right.
and, the giggles we still have years later.
Yes. Yeah. You're not going to remember what your financial position
No,
was at that time, but
not for
you're
a
always
second.
going to remember that trip and those memories.
You're
And
absolutely
so are
right.
your kids. You only get such a short time with them, too. I always
Yeah,
try to stress that to
you
people.
really
I'm
do.
like, don't wait, it flies by.
Yeah. No, it's family travel is just super popular right now. And I think people in general have realized that, it's the way to travel now is take your family because we're
I love
doing a
that.
ton of that. And, a lot of it to Europe, a lot of it Caribbean. I mean, there's just a lot of, multi-generational travel going on right now.
That makes my heart so
I
happy that
experience
people
it
are doing it.
myself because we do it with our family and I love it. It's a,
Yeah.
it's a big part of our year to gather our family together and do an incredible trip.
If you're like me and always on the lookout for new styles but hate the hassle of shopping, I've got just the thing for you. Stitch Fix. Stitch Fix is a personal styling service that sends you hand-picked clothing and accessories right to your door. Here's how it works. You'll start by filling out a quick quiz about your style preferences on their website or app. It's fun. It helps your stylist get to know your unique fashion preferences, sizes, and even your budget. Next, your personal stylist curates a box of items just for you. And let me tell you, they are spot on. Every piece feels like it was chosen just for me and it fits. You can try everything on in the comfort of your home, keep what you love, and send back what you don't. It's that easy. I've been using Stitch Fix for 3 years now, and it has completely transformed my wardrobe. No more crowded malls or endless scrolling through online stores. Plus, the excitement of receiving a new box and discovering what's inside is like opening a present. Best part, there's something for everyone: men, women, kids, you name it. Whether you need casual wear, workout outfits, or something special for an event, Stitch Fix has got you covered. And hey, if you're not sure about something, their customer service is top notch and is always ready to help. So if you're ready to elevate your style and make shopping a breeze, head over to stitchfix.com or download their app on your phone. Even better, head into the show notes and I'll include a link for $25 off your first order. Enjoy! So, do you have any favorites that you've done as a family with your kids? Some favorite places to go or some favorite ways to travel? You were talking about all these different boats. I mean, I only know of cruise ships. Of course, I've dreamed of yachts, but never knew it to be readily available to anybody. So tell us some more about some of these things we can consider.
Well, for me and for our family, to me, all inclusive is the best
Mm.
because we have a couple chefs. We have a chef and a cook in our family, and I don't want them to work.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
want to have an all inclusive experience. So this past year, we just did a dude ranch, which was very much outside, spent a lot of time outside, enjoying the horses, enjoying the ranch. Everything was included. It's a White Stallion
Ugh.
Ranch in Tucson, which was an incredible experience. We took our children there when they were young and they wanted to take their children there, this experience. We've also been to Jamaica, which is a great all inclusive experience. The kids were a little younger at that point. So, again, it was great. Beach time, pool time, all kinds of activities off property. You're just together, having breakfast
Yeah.
and dinner together. You're at the pool together. You're at the beach together. It's just great family time.
Okay. A dude ranch sounds awesome.
Dude Ranch is amazing.
Outside and horses and I need more about that. So you're saying all inclusive. So are they providing the meals on the ranch and stuff too, or
They
do you
provide
need?
all the meals, snacks, all the, drinks are additional,
Okay.
but all the horseback riding lessons are included. There's a couple lessons included, and then, anything more extensive you're paying for, but pretty much all inclusive. And it's just nice for the family because then the family's relaxed too. You're not sitting here and go,
Yeah.
where are you going for dinner? Where are you going for breakfast?
Yeah. It's
It's
all
very
done and planned for
organized.
you.
It's all planned. So,
So how many other families are there on the ranch with you when you go?
well, I think that particular ranch holds about 100 and maybe 110, 120 people.
Okay.
While we were there in December, there was probably about 5 other families that were
Okay.
there.
And are
With
you doing all these activities together or is it really just
as a family. Yeah.
okay, it's just your family
Yeah,
going out and
we went on
riding?
trails. There was 15 of us, so we went on trail all by ourselves, with our family alone, which was just phenomenal. Yeah, it
So
was
cool.
very enjoyable. So, and again, you're outside, the kids are outside, you can't ask for any more.
That's incredible. And again, an experience I would have never even thought existed.
Yep.
Like this stuff isn't when you see advertisements, it's always on a beach, on a cruise ship. Like these experiences have to be so cool.
So cool. Yeah, we took a family of 15 and we were on a trail, a walking trail, went into the desert, which is the scenery is just spectacular.
Yeah.
And then one morning you get up early before the sun rises and you all get on horses, you go up into the mountain, you watch the sunrise and you're having breakfast on the mountainside, which
Oh my
again is
gosh.
just relaxing. You're with your
Yes.
family, you're giggling, you're laughing, you're having a good time. For me, seeing the children get off the horses after a good ride and everybody telling stories and giggling was just absolutely the best.
Oh my gosh. How cool.
Yeah,
That
so
sounds like the best.
yeah. And then they had skeet shooting. They had, penning where you pen a horse or a cow into the pen.
Okay. So you're
So
getting some
you're,
cattle
yeah,
experience in there?
there's some cattle experience in there. So, which was super fun. I didn't particularly do it. I took the pictures,
Yeah.
but
Equally
everybody else
important.
did. Yeah, they had a great time. So yeah, it was yeah, there's fast rides, slow rides, you go up into the mountains. There's always a wrangler with you, which is a great experience, because
Mm-hmm.
there are people from all over the world too, and they're coming in to work for several weeks, several months. And yeah, it's just super fun. Just a very fun
What a
experience.
cool experience. And yeah, like you're saying, you have a wrangler with you. I'm sure they have some awesome stories to
They have
tell.
awesome stories. They have just incredible stories. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just a unique experience with your family, which is, very much outdoors. There's hiking available. Some of the family went up hiking throughout the mountains and they just,
Mm-hmm. So many different activities to do then.
yeah, lots.
So cool. All right. What else? You mentioned Jamaica. Okay. So that's a great beach destination,
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
The culture in
Yeah.
Jamaica is amazing.
Uh
The
huh.
Jamaican culture is just incredible. And it's just a nice family vacation, especially when you have really young children, because it's a little more relaxed, laid back. You're staying in a large resort.
Mm hmm.
Again, the food's always outstanding and it's always easy. Lots of entertainment. You know, in fact, this particular family resort we were at, the kids got to be spectators, and their dads all got up and danced to Michael Jackson. So, and we still send the video around 5, 6 years later and just really laughed.
Oh, perfect.
It
Yeah.
is perfect. And those are
Yeah.
memories that we'll have forever and ever,
Absolutely.
But again, family travel, I think, is just, an incredible experience these days, because it makes us all relax, calm down, relax, and chill, and enjoy our
Remember
family.
the things that are important to us.
Yep. Amen. Exactly.
Especially to everyone's so busy today. And that's what I mean. It seems like you just, how do you fit it in when everybody's go, 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 kids, sports and work, but you just have to say, I'm going,
Well,
and
when
I
you're
won't be
traveling,
available.
that's it. Yeah. You're stopping everything. You're enjoying the time together.
The hardest part is planning it and getting there, because once you're there, that's all you're going to be worried about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It'll all be waiting for you when you get back, you quickly realize too.
Exactly.
The company you work for didn't stop. It kept going while you were gone, and sports were still there when you got home.
Exactly.
And it's so important.
Is. And even while you're away, you can still work. I mean, you still have the internet available at the ranch or any location. I mean, if for some reason you have to respond to something, it's relatively easy. You just don't want to consume all your time doing that. Just
no, but good point.
It's urgent. Yeah,
with all the things available today,
everywhere today. So it's easy.
Yep.
Easy.
Absolutely.
To navigate.
Oh my goodness, so cool. All right, so small boat. So we said yacht, we said cruise. What is small boat traveling?
Okay, so what you think of when you think of cruise is something like Celebrity or Carnival or Royal Caribbean. Those ships are 4,000 and 5,000 and 6,000 people now. So there's a whole new group of ships now that are called small ships, and they're usually anywhere between 300 and 600 passengers, which is wonderful. I mean, it's an amazing experience. Definitely leans towards luxury, without a doubt. There are some moderate cruises that are in that range too, but mostly small ships are going to be Silver Seas, Regent Cruise Lines. I mean, those companies are in the 600 passengers and just super relaxing. Just an amazing experience at sea. So you're not on a ship with thousands of people, waiting in line to get your breakfast, you're being waited on. And most of the ships, those smaller ships, also have larger cabins too. They can pull into port, which is kind of fun too. So, and again, they're in the Caribbean, they're in the Mediterranean, they're all over the world for cruising, but a different experience.
Cool. Yeah. Totally. Are these still pretty big size boats? Or are you feeling the water a little bit more?
Royal Caribbean, you feel a little, They are smaller ships.
Yeah.
Not a doubt.
Okay. So neat.
And the yachts are in the 300 passengers, which are an incredible experience too, because you can see so much in a short amount of time, especially in the Caribbean or in the Mediterranean.
Okay, so the yachting isn't like private, just your family. There are still other people on the boat.
You could do that too, but that becomes extremely expensive.
I could imagine.
But there's a lot of there's several yachts out there now that have,
very cool
people. And then you also have river cruising, which is phenomenal. That's a whole nother type of cruise, and it's cruising through the rivers. Actually, we're cruising in the United States now too, but mostly it's in Europe, down the Danube, down the Seine.
Wow. So do you still stop at different destinations on these riverboats?
Yeah, you pick it up in one location and you'll stop in 3 or 4, maybe 5 different locations. And the cool part about the riverboat is you pull right into town. So when you pull into Vienna, you are in Vienna. You can
go back
to the ship for lunch if you'd like, but you really want to have the schnitzel in Vienna that afternoon. It's amazing. Yeah, you want to enjoy Vienna or, Budapest. Yeah, you would just, the ship ports right in Budapest, which is incredible.
Oh my gosh.
It's just an incredible experience. In Paris, the riverboats will port right into Paris, right in Paris. So you're actually looking at the Eiffel Tower and
you're still sleeping on the boat.
You are. You're on board.
Okay.
And it's super comfortable and you're dining on board. Dining is exquisite and just about all the cruise lines we sell. It's just amazing experience. The difference in cruise lines is what's included.
Okay.
A lot of them, the higher ends will have all of the tours included. You'll go out throughout the morning and you'll have a tour. Say if you're in Paris, you'll tour Paris in the morning. And then
Mm-hmm.
by 3 o'clock, you're on board the ship and you're sailing to your next port. And it's beautiful. And I think
Oh,
the part I love about it is it's very social. So it's
okay.
extremely
Yeah.
social. So
Yeah.
3, 4 o'clock, you're sitting on deck with a cocktail, and you're watching, you're leaving Paris and you're just watching this amazing skyline.
And seeing these places from a completely different view
Totally different.
than if you were just staying in the cities.
And again, it's the simplicity of travel too, because you're not sitting there searching in Paris, what restaurant you're going to have dinner in. It's all included.
It's all,
It's
ugh.
taken care of. So it's what time are you going to go to dinner? Are you going to go to dinner at 6 or 7? That's the big
Okay, so your meals even in the city on these boats are
Yeah, all
included in
included.
your trip
Mhm.
too. How cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is definitely new to me. I have not heard
Yeah.
that or heard of anybody who's done that. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
And the nice part about it is they bring the culture on board on the river cruise too, which is an amazing experience. Because if you're in Vienna, you'll have schnitzel for dinner that night.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a local experience.
Neat.
That's the fun
See,
part.
yeah, you know exactly
Yeah.
how to get the culture and
Exactly.
where to go when you're
Mhm.
there. So you're making the most of it
Mhm.
without all the extra
Yeah.
time of figuring it out on your own.
Yeah. If you're in Italy traveling on the Po, you will definitely have pasta at dinner every night. Yeah. It's a unique
Yeah.
experience. Like I said, it's very casual. I think it's just very social. That's the part I love about it.
Very neat. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so many ways to travel that we just don't know about. And all the more reason to reach out to somebody who is an expert in this field rather than
Yeah.
just Googling it and Yelp reviewing it and booking it on
And
your
that's
own.
exactly it. There's a lot of different ways to travel in that.
Yeah.
Say if you're wanting to go to Italy, there's probably a dozen different ways to possibly
Mm-hmm.
travel through Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're Googling it, and you're looking on Expedia, you're seeing one way, you're not seeing.
Well, yeah, and that's always terrified me. How in the world am I going to know where to stay in a country that I've never been to? And what a nightmare that could be. You spend all this money and time planning a trip that is atrocious when
Right.
you're there. It's
Exactly.
terrifying.
Well, and the key for us is you've got support through an agent. If you're booking through a travel agent, you've got
Yeah.
support. The vendors we work with are all supportive too. You've always got a 24/7 number available to you. So, there's
Very cool.
always, you always have that assurance that there'll be somebody available. You're not just sitting on hold trying to reach somebody that you booked online with.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. And a lot of times people now, when I've worked with a travel agent, they were talking about dietary restrictions. And while my immediate family didn't have any, there's so many people now
Oh, yeah.
that have different dietary needs. And so that can be a whole nother aspect of making travel tricky that an agent can help you through. All right. Well, thank you for all of the travel advice. I would love to hear more about owning a company and being a business owner and how do you motivate your team? How do you inspire all these women to create beautiful trips for all these people?
Well, I think a piece of that is being engaged. Big
Mhm.
piece of that is being engaged continuously, and that they motivate me that way too. So there's no question. The engagement is really important. Getting to know your agents, getting to know the staff, as well as I do, is definitely a big piece of it. Creating experiences for them too, making
Okay.
sure that they're trained. The training is an important piece. I probably take that to an extreme level because you're learning about the world. So it's like I always want everybody
Yeah.
to know about everything.
Sure.
So training is a real big piece. So that's a part that I get involved in pretty much on a daily basis, making sure our vendors are in touch with, our staff.
Perfect. And so what advice would you have for a woman looking to become an executive or a business owner? And how do you balance work and life?
Well, that's a big question, balancing work and life. I definitely take the weekends off and I don't look at my email all weekend. And it just,
Yeah.
you have to look for that balance. I do work hard day in and day
Mhm.
out. I work consistently, but on the weekends, I just have to take a break. So you just really have to engage at that point with your family and friends.
Love. Thank you for sharing
It
that.
is
That's
hard to do.
important for people to
Especially when
unplug.
it is hard to do when you're first starting too, but
Mhm.
you have to get to that point that you have to unplug.
Yeah.
And I do it pretty well. There are days that I don't. I mean, Friday afternoon, I had a lot of balls juggled, and I said, just call me Saturday. And then after, so I thought,
Done
what
today.
did I say? Yeah. But, I don't do that all the time. There
Yeah.
was a few things that, had to be taken care of immediately. But for the
Yeah.
most part, I do my best to balance it. I think for, looking at somebody coming in to an
Hmm.
executive position, you have to just be all in. You have to just, you have to give it your all. There's no question.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that part of it. A piece of it is the relationships, without a doubt. But I enjoy seeing women being successful. And that's been a big piece of what we've done over the last 25 years is mentoring young women and seeing women just be successful in their field. And that's really
Absolutely.
my goal every day is to
Yeah.
see every agent that I have in the agency work at a high level and be successful.
That is awesome. And thank you for sharing that so everybody can hear that you heard it from someone who has had the success that you've had, that you can do it, you can be all in, and you can also go home and turn it off.
Yeah.
That's so important for people to hear because sometimes I think, especially as women and moms, we think that we have to be in all places at all times and you can only have one or the other. So I love to hear successful women rooting for other women and saying, you don't have to have one or the other. You can have it all and you can be all in at work and you can still be all in at home. You don't have to make big sacrifices
Yeah.
like that in your life.
For me, it's a calendar.
Mm,
It's really
yeah.
looking and keeping that calendar working. And that calendar works, 7 days a week for me, whether it's personal or business. And, if there's something personal that comes in, I make it work on that calendar.
Hmm.
So, you know,
Amen. If it's not on my calendar in my phone, it's not happening.
I know. And that to me is super important, that calendar, because in fact, I think I said that to you this morning. It's not on my calendar.
We didn't move it to the
Something
right
happened.
day.
Something happened. But
Yeah.
I live by my calendar and it's how I get things done too. And I think that's how I'm as productive as I am.
Love. Okay, so let's stick with that. Any other productivity pieces of advice that you have? Do you have a morning ritual? What are some things you would say you always stick to or that you're true to that helps you be productive or just mindful or staying happy and alert?
Yeah. Again, it's the calendar, but I think it's that notepad too, because it's constantly writing things down and to-do list today.
Mhm.
On my calendar, there is a to-do list. It tells me everything that needs to be done today, whatever it may be.
Mhm.
So it's really keeping a management of that, and at 11 o'clock at night, when I lay my head down and I have three things on my mind, I do write them down.
Right.
I
I
write them
do
down
too.
because I just have to be able to turn over and go to bed.
Yep, and if
And
it
they're
gets
there in the
written down
morning.
somewhere, then it'll be there in the morning and I won't forget.
I have last night's note right here. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I write it
Yep.
down and I will get to it the next day. I'll add it to my list.
Mhm.
Um, Realistically, that to me it's simplistic, but it's really what works and it gets you through the day. And then,
Yeah.
at the end of the day too, I'll plan for what's tomorrow, what brings, tomorrow, Fridays, I do the same thing for Monday, what's on the list for Monday. And it's the way it's been done all the time for a long time.
Oh, that's perfect. That's great advice. And I love that it works for someone else too. People still tease me. It's old school. I always have my notebook and pen handy. I'm like, listen,
It
it
works.
comes with me. If my mind has too much going in it, some of it just has to go there.
Yep. It works. It
Yeah,
works.
it does.
I use a little
It does.
technology here and there, but it's
Yeah.
mostly the notepad that works. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a few things that technology is coming into play now.
Yeah, I use mine to practice gratitude,
Good.
write down things that I'm thankful for that day, or just all the things. If you flip, someone opened my notebook, they would be like,
Right.
this woman is nuts. There's all sorts of different things on here from numbers to doctor's appointments to what she's thankful for. What's happening?
Exactly. Exactly. Well, and I need to keep an eye on too, everybody that's traveling. So just so I have a
Oh
good
my
idea
gosh.
of what's happening too.
Right.
So I manage, where everybody's traveling. So if for some reason I do get that call, I know where they're at and what's going on too.
Yeah, that's a lot to keep track
It
of.
is, but you have to be organized to do it.
Sure.
You just can't wing it. You just got
No.
to know for sure.
Yeah.
And then when there's something catastrophic in the world going on, as the airport in London was closed last
Hmm.
weekend, and you know, I check my database to see where everybody is, if who we've got going to London, and manage that at a tight level too. So it's not only managing my own day to day business, but it's managing people traveling globally too.
Right. Yeah. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah, there's a
That's
lot of pieces that go on.
that's a
Yeah, a
yeah,
lot of
that's a
pieces.
big moving piece too.
It is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
where are they at and what can I do to help if something isn't
Oh
going the way
yeah.
we planned it to
Mhm.
go? Because inevitably change always happens and things always need to be shifted.
Exactly. And you want people to be safe too. And you want to be able to get, if there is an issue, they need to be able to get out of there quickly. That kind
Mm,
of thing.
yeah.
It's important.
Any big pieces of life advice or travelers? I'm sure you tell them, be intentional, be in the moment.
Yeah. Relax.
Right.
Enjoy it. It's
Yeah.
usually don't overpack.
Guilty.
Yeah. Stop with the overpacking. Yeah. Just relax and enjoy yourself. Have experiences that you've never had before. Eat different things that you've never eaten before.
Yeah.
Go in and just enjoy and embrace something that you're not comfortable with. You're in
Oh,
a
I
different
love that.
culture. You're in a different culture.
Yeah.
Traveling throughout Europe it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. But just enjoy the culture. When you open the window, you're not going to see something beautiful. You're going to see laundry hanging. You know, laugh at it and enjoy it because that is their culture. You know,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. You're there for more
yeah,
than
you're there for
you're there for the experience and
Mhm.
how they live day to day.
Totally. Be polite to the culture. As Americans, we're kind of known as being brassy. Change that when you get into a hotel. Be respectful of that property, that hotel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are important things. And the relationships you can build there are incredible too.
Yeah.
You can meet people there that you can have relationships with the rest of your life.
Right. Right. Especially as you're saying, there's ways to do these small group travels. I'm sure amazing relationships come out of
Oh, yeah,
those small group
totally.
travels too. Lifetime travel partners and friends that
Totally.
that you
Happens
meet.
all the time.
So cool. Yeah. Yeah. You just retired and you're like, okay, what are we going to do? But you go on some group travel trip and meet another couple who wants to
Mhm.
travel and do some of the same things. That's incredible. It's more than just a vacation. You're changing people's lives with things like
Yeah.
that.
And the other
Very
thing
cool.
too is you can travel alone in a lot of the situations too, especially with group travel and escorted travel. If you're
Right.
traveling single, you're going to be very
Yeah.
comfortable because you're with a group of people at that point. And I've met many ladies, many gentlemen too, that travel by themselves during escorted travel, and they love it because they meet people throughout the world and they end up traveling with another companion that they met, on a previous
Yeah.
trip or meet up with that person again, which is so fun.
Never even thought about that. But yeah, my gosh, so true. You don't have to stop traveling just because
Yeah.
you're alone and don't have a life partner. Go out there and travel and meet someone else along the way.
Definitely ways of doing that today and not being all by yourself and on the journey
Yeah.
alone. You know,
Yeah. So many
yep.
possibilities.
River cruising's the same, small ships the same. I mean, there's just so many ways of traveling.
There's something for everyone.
Oh my
There
gosh,
really is.
yes, there really is. And that's the creative part. It's where we started.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That just came
totally the
full
creative.
circle.
Yeah, came
Yeah.
creative. Totally the creative piece.
Oh,
Mhm.
so incredible. Well, thank you so much for your time today and all of your knowledge of travel. I have so many things to go online and look up now and reshuffle my list of what we're going to do next. It's not going to be the same place next year. We're going to the same place we usually go this year. It's just, like I said, it just feels like that happy place. And
Yeah.
it was a last minute thing. All right, we have to take time off. The kids are going to be on spring break. Let's just go. Let's go to our spot. But
Mhm.
we do love new adventures too. We're campers. We have a travel trailer, so we always are going and
Yeah.
looking for new adventures and new places to go see and do and love the outdoors. So when you brought up that whole dude ranch thing, I was like, my family would absolutely love to do something like that.
Mhm.
So that is moving right up to the top of the list. We're going to
Super fun.
skip the beach next year and do another outdoor adventure and horseback ride. And that just sounds amazing. So I will
It
be
is
reaching out for more
good.
advice. So let everybody know, where can we find you? So Departure Travel Management is the name of your company. So let us know how we can get in touch with you and how people can reach you.
We're downtown Birmingham. The office has been there 25 years.
Social media, you're on social media, right?
Yeah, social media is not as up
No.
to date as it should be. So it's probably just phone call them.
Well, I can put your website in the show notes
there you
too.
go.
So people can find your website and all your contact information in the show notes of this episode so that they can,
would be
you can
perfect.
help them plan their next dream vacation.
Thank you, Jennifer. This was absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, that's a wrap on today's episode. A huge thank you to Bonnie Newcomer, president and owner of Departure Travel Management, for sharing her insights and expertise on the evolving world of travel. Whether you're dreaming of your next getaway or managing corporate travel logistics, Bonnie's advice is sure to inspire and guide you. Thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. You can also stay connected with us on social media or by visiting my website, jenniferquapis.com. Until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and remember, your adventure is just a decision away. Take care. We'll see you next time.